So, needless to say, artificial intelligence, the much spoken about subject on the panel right now, and advancing technology are changing the face of marketing today. What I'm going to attempt to do in this presentation that I have with you over the next 15 minutes is really demystify the application of artificial intelligence and advancing technology in the context of marketing. So a quick context about me and why I'm qualified to do this. I've been running a digital-first marketing and technology company for the last 15 years. We work with about hundreds of brands across 6 markets. And Middle East is one of our significant markets. And in addition to that, we've been running an incubator which works in Web3, AI, and technology. We have about 18 companies in this incubator. Over the last 7 years, we've been marrying advancing technology, Web3, AI, with the clients that we work with, building solutions for them in a way that it adds to the bottom line, that it is real value use case. So given that background and experience that I come with, there are 2 clear trends or changes that I'm seeing. I classify them into 1, how is AI going to change the face of marketing? And 2, the shift from Web 2 to Web 3. Okay? So when I speak about the shift from Web 2 to Web 3, what do I mean? Web 1 was everything static, right? Like Web 1 was when you saw websites that were static, pictures that were static. It was just information, one-way communication. Then came Web 2. In Web 2, we had interactivity, social media, so on and so forth. But still, even when you went on to Snapchat or Instagram or Facebook, all the content that you interacted with was with one server, which is, let's say, the meta server, right? In Web 3, it's going to be decentralized infrastructure. So, which means that people are going to hold the information that they actually create. They're going to be the owners of the information. We spoke about AR. We spoke about VR. We spoke about all of those things, but that's Web 3 infrastructure. It's an infrastructure-dependent conversation. The reason Metaverse had its hype is because our experience of Metaverse was never great. Like, the graphic cards were not rich, right? So it was a fairly patchy experience for us. So the Web 3 transition is happening slowly but steadily. So Web 2 and Web 3 will continue to exist. But as brands and retailers, we need to gear up to understand what's happening between Web 2 and Web 3. So AI and the transition from Web 2 to Web 3 are the 2 major trends that I'm seeing. But I'm going to double-click on AI right now. And I'm going to double-click on AI because that's what is actively changing the landscape of marketing. And I classify the shifts that are happening in these 3 categories. Category 1 is what I call as a concept of human colossus. And this concept was introduced by Tim Urban. What it really means is that we will have access to collective intelligence of humanity, right? Collective intelligence of humanity. So there are 7 billion people on planet Earth, and there are 7 billion ways of thinking. We're going to be able to access these guys at a click of a button, right? Which means that we don't have to reinvent anything. The 0 to 1 journey is taken care of. Information that's already available will put us at the base level, which is much higher than what we exist today, and therefore it's only one way up or forward, right? So that's what's going to be the result of human colossus. Prompt engineering. When I speak about prompt engineering, I think I won't be exaggerating to say that professional success for people like me and you will depend on how you are interacting with AI tools. There are thousands of them that are getting launched. So every week, about 1,000, 1,500 new AI tools are being launched as on today. So your ability to interact with an AI surface and bring out the right output is going to be defined by the way you prompt the AI software. And last but not the least, data. Data is finally big, right? So we spoke about big data. Again, the panel, I think, stressed upon a lot about the importance of data. One of the reasons, again, big data was a hype and then there was not enough information, there was not enough use case of big data was because AI was not advanced enough to process that data. Now that there is advancement in AI, we can process data at speeds that we had not imagined. We can uncover patterns. You have predictive and prescriptive analysis that can come to you with data because of advancement in AI. So with that background, let me just sort of start talking about what is it going to mean to lay the groundwork for AI-powered marketing, right? Clearly, it's data. So when I speak about data, as a marketing person, when I go to a brand or a client and I ask for data, data structures don't exist with most retailers today. So in essence, just collect if your business is digitized, collect every touch point of data. It could be POS data, it could be amount of time spent on your website or e-commerce data, it could be people who are redeeming your loyalty points data, it could be any touch point data. But because when you bring all of this data together in a single view, the power of analysis that AI can drive with that data will be phenomenal. So ground one is start building data structures, have a data strategy. Fairly simple to start, really. Sometimes I think we just sort of think of it as a big project, but you just need to start small and get going with that. And the second part of this is, most of you would have used ChatGPT. Let me ask you, one of the biggest challenges that you face perhaps is that you feel like you're getting the same answers. Do you feel that? Right? So it's just like more of the same thing, right? Now, that's called the phenomena of march to the middle with AI, right? So the reason the march to the middle or some sort of mediocrity is settling in is because AI is accessing from generic information that exists. And one of the ways to overcome that is to train the machine on your brand specifically, right? So, and AI now has the power to really do human-like interpretations. And therefore, when you start training it on your brand, again, from a marketing standpoint, one of the biggest challenges I say is, let's say a creative director on a particular brand leaves, the brand mandates sometimes fall off by the side, right? So just being able to train data on your brand, on your culture, on your products will be the key to bring out unique content, right? And this we're doing to a great extent with a tool, an AI-powered tool that we launched at DViO called the DViO One, where we have actually we've taught the machine 15 years of strategy, okay? Industry by industry, retail, e-commerce, fintech, 15 years of our own work we have fed into the machine in a way that we can simply put a brief into the system and it throws out strategy outputs at you. And we are also going further and training the machine on every brand or every client that we work with. And therefore, the final sort of end state of this tool that we are building, which is also actively learning as we speak right now, is that you're going to be able to discover what's happening in your industry on the tool. You're going to be able to design your strategy on the tool. You're going to be able to use AI co-pilots and deploy content and creatives through the tool, and you're going to be able to measure the performance of your campaigns through the data module. And therefore, I think the question really is not whether AI will take away jobs and make us redundant, like the panel before us sufficiently spoke about. It's really the power of bringing AI and you together, and that power being unleashed. Now, I'm going to show you some examples of the kind of applications of AI. I call AI as a mountain without a top, because the amount of things that you can really do with it, you only need to imagine, right? So here is a use case of how it has reduced production time on the creative. So we work with a league called the World Tennis League. Now, typically, when we work with sporting brands or when we work with any entertainment client, the shoots take a lot of our time, right? We have to actually get all the players in a room sometimes. We have to get their dates. And then, if we take stock images, then typically they're endorsing certain brands. So the brands are typically on their, on their shirts and their apparel. It takes us at least 30 days to go to market. So all we did was we input the images of the players, AI-generated images, and we were able to put all of this creative together. So all these creatives that you see are AI-generated creatives. So from 30 days, we went down straight to 2 days on the go-to-market with AI. Yeah, so that's on how production time can be reduced. Again, immersive environments. Now, typically, when you want to build beautiful, gorgeous, immersive environments, you want to shoot videos, you tend to have large production budgets. But this is the kind of stuff that AI can produce for you. gorgeous, immersive environments with great detailing. And then, on an everyday use case standpoint, this is the kind of social content that you can dish out with AI. Yeah. The other interesting use case with computer vision now is 3D rendering. 3D rendering used to be a fairly cumbersome task before the advancing of technology. Now, this is the level of 3D designs that can be made in literally probably 1/10 of the time, and that then allows you to use it a lot more in social media, on digital platforms, and on digital surfaces. Yeah, so this is sort of how you could use 3D content on social content. This is something we did for Lulu's Mobile Fest. And moving this forward, one of the things that I speak about use of AI is the fact that even if you don't have, firstly, you don't need access to any stock images, so you don't need to access photo libraries, right? But what you need to be able to do is enhance your reality. A lot of times, what we do is we just create the same reality in AI, right? That makes no sense. Because AI will allow you to create an enhanced reality. So what you saw there is a use case of enhanced reality. We've got to let our imaginations wild, really think of something that you've never thought of, and AI can create that for you. And then, of course, it allows you to imagine creative campaigns in very, very interesting ways. Yeah, and in fact, the input that we gave over here, we said, hey, we have Super General, a white goods brand. Can you show us creatives that connect back to maybe famous movies? And this is the output that we got. Sorry. So all of this generated by AI. No production, time and cost and efficiencies in production unlocked. And then comes gamification, right? So with 3D content, there's a lot of, and this is specifically relevant from a retail context, is that you can gamify physical environments. In this case, for example, person had to just simply scan the marker of our brand, which is Burjeel Hospitals, and then they could unlock discounts by tapping on the butterflies that were flying. So you could gamify any environment with 3D content. This is, again, 3D content and computer-generated graphics. So all of this is a part of enhanced reality, as you call it. It's not just replicating physical reality. It's about enhancing the reality and really letting your imagination run. Now, that's the kind of efficiencies we've been able to build in terms of production. But now let's look at just how data that we spoke about all this while and layering it with AI, what can it do? Now, what is unquestionable is the fact that AI can process data faster than human beings can. Two, it can uncover patterns which you were otherwise not able to uncover. So you had a lot of data, but you didn't know what to do with it, right? And in this case, for like one of our clients, which has multiple touch points, which is, they have a pharmacy, they have clinics, they have online pharmacy. So you have multiple touch points that you're working with, and I'm sure many of you actually work with brands that have these multiple touch points as well. So what we're able to do, because we have a single user interface, we're able to say, hey, this person actually checked for a blood sugar monitor, and then we're able to target them with AccuCheck purchase, and then also able to actually recommend them to an endocrinologist, right? So this is the kind of efficiency we are able to drive because we are capturing data, and this is how you're able to apply it in the context of marketing. And what we have observed over the last 1.5 years is that we have actually been able to drive efficiencies upwards of 100% with this sort of data strategy that we implemented in marketing. And segueing this into, again, bringing amazing experiences to life with data, right? So with data, you get access to what is called first-party data, right? So you know who your customer is. And when you know who your customer is, you're able to build experiences like these. In this case, this is a loyalty program by the apparel group. Neeraj was here on a panel few minutes ago. So essentially, it's pulling the data real time from a database, and it's overlaying the person's name and details onto a video in a way that every person who's watching this video is seeing a unique video for themselves. Okay, and then it goes further. You can download it, you can share it, so those are the things that are possible with first-party data. Yeah, so this is personalization using technology with data. And last but not the least, what is most important for us to do is to make your business queryable. Now, when I speak about that, typically when you're looking for information, where do you go? You go to Google and you search for information. Do you have a Google for your own company? Do you have a search engine for your own company? So your data strategy needs to answer that question. If I wanted to know something about what's happening in my company, do I have an interface where I can just simply go and search for that? And to that extent, I also want you guys to know that SEO is undergoing a massive change, right? Search engine optimization is not going to be relevant anymore. Because have you guys seen the barred results that come out on the right now when you search for something? And that is what I mean when I say that you have to be data compliant, AI compliant as a brand, which means you've got to structure data within your organization and be available on the platforms from where Bard is sourcing this information, which is essentially the future of SEO. We've got to see if your businesses are voice search enabled, right? Let's see if this
What
plays.
are the benefits of a granola bar?
So someone's searching using voice. It throws
summary
out your
from
brand
Bayer
results.
Health.
On the right,
Here's
you're
how
seeing
granola bars can
bar
do wonders
results.
for your body and
Right? So the
therefore
kind
your
of
mind.
data structuring and
One
optimization
reduces
that needs to happen at the back is going to be very, very different moving forward. And actually, I've run out of time, I can see. I wanted to sort of show you guys a quick example of how we're doing this for Sowmya Retail. We're bringing all of this together. We're bringing data, making a very intelligent website, structuring it for Bard to read from the content. What I can do is, you guys can just sort of take a picture of this if you like. Happy to answer any questions and demo this to you real time when we meet off stage. I hope this was helpful. Thank you very much.
Phone. Hello, hello. There we go. Thank you.